And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next presenter is a courageous investigative journalist and the host of the Steel Truth Show. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand to your feet. And great Ann Vandersteel. Yes, one more time. Let's hear for Ann Vandersteel, everybody.
Thank you, Clay. So I'm going to call an audible real quick. Somebody you just saw up there. And folks, this is tough. I've got to follow Patrick Byrne and Mel K. This is brutal. Brutal. Patrick Byrne has one footnote here he forgot to tell you all.
Yeah, I buried the lead. That interagency group I was working with, I brought them all this radioactive stuff. Comey shut them down. Garland shut them down, disrupted the group, and scattered around the country. That group said, screw you. They walked into Congress. You've been hearing about these, they're like 2 whistleblowers, then 6, then 100. Those started with these people to whom I've been bringing this material. Merrick Garland got his 10 top people together about 3 weeks ago, said this Hillary Clinton corruption case could shut us all down. I know that because his top people are leaking. More than one of his top people are leaking. They're on our side. 85% of the government's on our side. So in closing, for the last 15%, go look at that go look at that witness clip. It's time. We don't need bullets. It's time you guys get enough. Enough. We have it. We all see it. You're just going to kill your way out of this? You can't do it. Your own government's turned against you. Your military that you vaccinated, they detest you. They're not going to do what you want. Your agencies, they're on my side. The whistleblowers, 100 people have gone in from across the agencies into Congress. The first ones are bringing in all that material I just shared with you. It's time that you thick SOBs in Washington understand enough. Enough. You want to fight, we can fight, but we've all seen it. They all know the truth. They all know the truth. We don't have to fight. You can't kill your way out of it. They all know the truth now. Ann, I love you. Thank you very much.
Patrick Byrne, everybody. You know, Dr. Zelenko, I'm the co-chair with Kevin Jenkins. I was the host of Steel Truth, had a great run for many years doing that show, loved it, loved it, loved it. Had Mel K on all the time. Patrick Byrne, we broke some incredible stories about Hillary Clinton and other diabolical creatures in our weaponized, corporatized federal government. And for those of you that know, I'm a state national. So to what Mel's saying, we don't have to even acknowledge that district of corruption. It is a dumpster fire. So let's focus on local action and have some national impact. But folks, I want to talk to you today as the co-chair for the Zelenko Freedom Foundation about unification. This is where we have to put everything aside. One of our biggest failures is, besides getting the truth out there like a mantra, like Dr. Zelenko has been asking for some time, which is why you saw him on every podcast, we have to unify, put our petty partisan differences aside, who's more powerful, who has the information, and let's work together in lockstep. And as you know, the TSA has been one of those agencies that's been brutal to me, trying to prevent me from traveling and getting the truth out. Well, guess what? Thanks to you all, your support, we won that battle. They've stopped the harassment. They no longer get to have their way with me to second base every time I fly, which is a godsend because none of them are very attractive to begin with. Anyhow, Dr. Zelenko and I met back in March of 2020. And we started off as a professional relationship, as journalist and subject, and we became friends, which is why he asked me in the end of his life to co-chair the foundation. And as you know, he has a book that's coming out, or maybe you don't, How to Decapitate the Head of the Snake. And that's what we've been talking about here, the head of the snake, which is the festering corruption that we, the people, have allowed to happen, and we've forgotten our roots, that we're the government. Well, we're going to decapitate that snake, and we're going to do it together. And along my journey in Steel Truth, I've had the most remarkable experience of talking to the most amazing people like Mel K, like Patrick Byrne, like General Flynn, Sidney Powell, so many others, the People's Convoy. You, the people, your stories are fascinating. They're real, they're organic, and they're the truth. And this is what we need to do. We need to get back to those roots. With the Zelenko Freedom Foundation, this is going to be such an incredible experience for everybody. This is not a foundation about me or Kevin. This is a foundation that's Dr. Zelenko's legacy. He called us to his home just weeks before he passed away, and he asked Kevin and myself to listen to what his vision is, what his legacy is going to be, and for us to carry the mission. And I can tell you right now, the mission is in the future of our children. We, as you heard Mel say, these people, the corrupt federal government, even our corrupt state governments, they don't care about your children, your grandchildren, and they certainly don't care about you. But we, the people, are going to come together, and the Zelenko Freedom Foundation is investing in our future of our children. And one of the initiatives that we have running on the ground right now, folks, we're only a 4-month-old foundation, and we're a public charity, which means we have to open the kimono and be very transparent about what's going on and how we spend the money that we receive in terms of donations. This isn't hide the shell game and private foundations, these private nonprofits like they do with George Soros. No, this is public charity, and you know, you will see, and you have access to what we spend money on. So here we go. Common Ground Campus. This is a program that is geared into our colleges, our universities, and even in our high schools. And I've got some very exciting news about what Common Ground Campus is. Briefly, it's a program where we go into a university and we talk to the right and the left. There's lots of student groups out there that are conservative and liberal. We find students that want to debate a subject. We bring them to an auditorium just like this. We put the groups on stage and we go, here is your subject. Say racism, for instance. The only rules that are applicable here is you cannot look at your fellow student across the aisle and go, you're wrong. You're not allowed to say that, because we're trying to encourage open dialogue, a discourse, something that we've lost the art of doing because we've been so weaponized by the mainstream media to say your identity is better than that identity and his identity is better than hers and you're black and she's white and on and on and on. No, 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 no. We're going to get past all that because God painted us in different colors and made us different sexes, 2 genders. Why? Because we're beautiful, being different. That's the beauty in it all. This is where they've taken that and they've weaponized that. So this Common Ground Campus program has been wildly successful and has been picked up and approved by Turning Point USA. Anybody familiar with Charlie Kirk and Turning Point? Right on. So our board member, Brent Hamachek, has been with Charlie since the very beginning. And I'm very blessed to say Brent Hamachek and Felissa Blazek are the originators of Common Ground Campus. It was actually Felissa's baby, and she has nurtured this baby, and Zelenko Freedom Foundation is now funding the Common Ground Campus program, and we're extremely excited because the Leadership Institute, in addition to Turning Point USA, has also picked up Common Ground Campus, and we have 2 events already scheduled this November. One is the University of Houston, which is tremendous, and we have a high school in Ohio. So I'm excited to say we're funding that initiative. We have 4 more events committed for 2023, and we're now currently working with the president of the Leadership Institute to accomplish all this. So I want to give a big shout out to Felissa Blazek. She's the brains behind all this. She's done all the work to get this going. And of course, it was initiated when we rolled this out at the University of Georgia, the Bulldogs, and that's where this thing exploded, and the kids loved it. Believe it or not, these kids that were looking at each other and hating each other and calling names to each other were hugging each other at the end. This is how effective dialogue can be. So like farmers planting seeds, we're now teaching children how to engage and how to dialogue with each other. And of course, what's the nice thing is when you plant a seed, it blooms, but not every bloom looks the same. Kind of like looking around the audience right now. This is what God created, everybody. This is how we're going to unify. We're going to accept us for each other, who we are, what we stand for, and we're going to love each other. Okay, another initiative for this Zelenko Foundation is media, something that's been near and dear to my heart for the past 7 years. I love media. Media has been an incredibly wild ride. I like being the target. It doesn't bother me. I say, bring it on. Mel knows about it. Anybody that stands in front of a TV and says what they say is going to be a target. I don't care if you're on the right or the left. But the fact of the matter is, truth in media has been absent for a long time. It's one of the things I've really worked hard at is making sure I only deliver what I can show you with open source. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other if I can't prove it. And if you can't prove it, please don't spew it. And that's been a big problem. So Dr. Zelenko believed in media. The other program we're rolling out is the Zelenko Fellows. This I'm very excited about. It's another initiative investing in the future of our children. Internships have been weaponized by academia and by big multinational corporations. These kids coming out of different colleges, specifically in the STEM programs, are being picked up by these multinational corporations which do not have our best interests in mind. Well, the Zelenko Fellowship Program aims to change that. And one of the ways we're going to do it is the initiatives that we're focused on, like media, like community development, like public policy, like incubating new technology, is to bring fellows into the realm and show them, these are the areas of which we have interest. Where do you have an interest? I'd like to announce right here live to all of you, we have selected our first Zelenko Fellow, and I'd like to welcome to the stage young 18-year-old Alex Stone with the Stonewall Podcast. Alex, please come out. Alex, I'm so glad you're here. Grab a mic.
Hi, Ann. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. How are you doing, Branson? Yeah, I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited that you invited me on the stage. My name is Alex Stone. I'm 18 years old. I'm the host of a Stonewall's Perspective podcast, and I'm on a mission to spread the light of the gospel into every aspect of life.
Alex, what does the Zelenko Fellow program mean to you?
Well, I'm excited to be part of this, and thank you for inviting me to be part of it. One of the things that I am really just passionate about is media and sharing the truth to every generation. How many of you are from the age of 12 to 18?
Come on.
There might be a few. I can't see your hands, the bright lights. But listen, if you are 12 to 18, I just want to encourage you, stand up. Start to fight for your country. If you have a passion, go for it. Start a podcast. Start a YouTube channel. Maybe not YouTube. Start a Rumble channel. Use what God has gifted you to go and spread the gospel, to go and do what you want to do so you can make a change in this country. You know, Pastor Locke is one of my good friends, and he said this in his message today that the church is the problem. If we're going to be part of this, we need to start to rise up, start to make a difference. And that's what I want to do as part of being a Zelenko Fellow, is to make a difference. I encourage everyone in this room, behind me, in front of me,
Do we make our
who's
point
watching
here?
online.
Do we make our point?
Make a difference. Thank you, Ann.
Right here. This is the future, ladies and gentlemen. I am super proud of this young man. And by the way, he didn't know he was coming on stage yesterday. He had no knowledge. This is what we're talking about, building the future with gentlemen like this. Alex Stone, thank you so much.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless
Thank you, Branson.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited because this is the future that we're going to build right here. Alex, stay up here with me. I want you to hear. Because, again, community development, our communities, you heard Mel talk about it. These multinational corporations have skipped over we the people, the government. They don't care about our communities. Boy, they build these nice-sounding non-governmental organizations, and they're going to spend money and help raise up your community. Look at the Democrat cities. They're burning down. And I dare say after Tuesday, I think a few more might George Floyd and burn themselves down again, sadly, to say this. We don't want to see that happen, but I'm prepared. Folks, this is desperate right now. People are suffering. Part of the community development initiative at the Zelenko Foundation is to go into these communities and rebuild their residential neighborhoods and bring the companies that we're incubating, companies that are providing nutraceutical solutions that God has put on this earth that will help your health. It will restore your immune system, restore your T cells. We're going to be doing that and bringing these manufacturing opportunities into these communities so that Zelenko Fellows can learn about manufacturing nutraceuticals. They can learn about how to restore a community. They can learn about the public policy that impacts the health care of our country, that will change the paradigm of sick care to well care. This is a community, this is a state, this is a national movement here of people doing it together. We have to work together and unify. Again, unity, unity, unity. Dr. Zelenko talked about our Creator, our one true God. He was an Orthodox Jew, but he never made a Christian feel less of a Christian because they weren't Jewish. He didn't see it that way. He never broadcast it that way. He loved every one of God's children. And this is what we're talking about here. So I know I'm running out of time, and I don't want to get the gong, but I've been carried off the stage by midgets because I ran over time. If you were in Tampa, you saw that. It was quite embarrassing. 2 midgets picked me up and carried me off stage. I'm not kidding. It's true. It's true. Okay, here comes the music. You can go to zfreedomfoundation.org. We've got some amazing events coming up. We have a gala. Charlie Kirk is going to be our keynote speaker on March 11th at the Trump Doral in Miami, Florida. So please go to zfreedomfoundation.com. And we also have Z Speaker Talks, where you're going to see incredible speakers. We're honoring the women that have stood in the gap in the medical freedom fight this December 8th in Riverview, Florida, just outside Tampa. I'm Ann Vandersteel. I'm the co-chair with Kevin Jenkins of the Zelenko Freedom Foundation. God bless you and thank you for being here. Love you guys.
All right, before I let Ann get out of here, Ann, I just wanted to say this. There's a lot of people behind the scenes who connect the dots. She connects a lot of the speakers, and Ann does that. So a lot of times I have a hard time getting certain. How many of you ever wanted to get someone on the phone, but you can't get them on the phone? And you're like, I just wish I could reach that person. Ann does that, and she's also super humble. She's always yielding her speaking time. She's always going, hey, if you need to cut my time to give someone else more time. So I just want to give an extra round of applause to Ann Vandersteel.
Clay, thank you.
And then also with Dr. Zelenko, you know, when he passed away, by the way, a great guy, you said, hey, I would like to help share his legacy. So if people want to follow you or connect with you, what is the best place they can go to find your voice?
The best place to go and the best place to go and find my voice is on Truth Social at Ann Vandersteel. I'm also on Getter at Ann Vandersteel, Cloud Hub at Ann Vandersteel, Gab. Facebook has me in jail again, no big deal. And then, of course, our website. Please go to our website, zfreedomfoundation.org.
Let's hear it one more time for Ann Vandersteel. Thank you, Ann. I appreciate
I'm Mike
you.
Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your support by bringing you the MyPillow that started it all. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs regardless of your sleep position. Because it works, we've sold over 70 million MyPillows, and now I'm bringing it to you for the lowest price ever. For example, you get my standard MyPillow, now only $19.88 with your promo code. Now's the time to get them for your friends, your family, your neighbors, everyone you know. MyPillows make the best gifts ever. In the times we're in, one thing we all need is getting a great night's sleep. So go to mypillow.com or call that number on your screen now. Use your promo code and you'll get my standard MyPillow for only $19.88. For a more custom fit, my Premium Queen, only $24.98. Or my Premium King, only $29.98. This is a limited time offer, so order now.